We are going to proceed deliberately out of Iraq, and we are going to have our combat troops out. We will not have permanent bases there. When I go to Iraq and I have a chance to talk to some of the commanders on the ground, I'm sure I'll have more information, and we'll continue to refine my policies.
Just words, just speeches.
We are going to proceed deliberately out of Iraq, and we are going to have our combat troops out. We will not have permanent bases there.
You thought troops should be withdrawn.
No, I've never said that troops should be withdrawn. What I've said is that we've got to make sure that we secure and execute the rebuilding and reconstruction process effectively and properly, and I don't think we should have an artificial deadline when to do that.
When Bush assigned Cheney to create energy policy, Washington has become so dominated that the voices of the American people are no longer heard.
That's why I voted for an energy bill that was far from perfect.
Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, these countries are tiny. They don't pose a serious threat to us. Iran is a grave threat. I believe in the free market. I believe in capitalism. I believe in free trade.
I don't think NAFTA has been good for America, and I never had.
As imperfect as he may be,
White America, U.S. of KKKA.
don't tell me words don't matter. He has been like family to me.
Not God bless America, God America.
I can no more disown him than I can disown the black community.
Just speeches. Just because you have an individual right does not mean the state or local government can't constrain the exercise of that right. You know, in the same way that we have a right to private property, but local governments can establish zoning ordinances that determine how you can use it.
That's not something that the NRA has allowed to get through Congress, and as president, I intend to make it happen.
Now you're embracing the Supreme Court's 5-4 decision, striking down that law?
That's not what I said. What I said was that I believe in the Second Amendment as being an individual right, and have said that consistently. I also think that individual right is constrained by the rights of the community to maintain issues of public safety.
I strongly support public financing.
We've made the decision not to participate in the public financing system for the general election.
What I'd like to see is a system of public financing of campaigns.
Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided.
You said that Jerusalem must remain undivided. Do the Palestinians have no claim to Jerusalem in the future?
Obviously, it's going to be up to the parties to negotiate a range of these issues, and Jerusalem will be part of those negotiations.
Look, my position has stayed entirely consistent. I do think that Jerusalem needs to remain capital of Israel.
I think we made some mistakes, which is inevitable during the course of a long campaign. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. Alaska and Hawaii I was not allowed to go to, even though I really wanted to visit.
There are 50 states, not 57, not 58, not 60.
On this Memorial Day, as our nation honors its unbroken line of fallen heroes, and I see many of them in the audience here today.
There were no dead people at this event.
I had a uncle who was one of the first American troops to go into Auschwitz and liberate the concentration camps.
It was Buchenwald, unless your uncle was a part of the Soviet Army.
But something's stirring across the country because of what happened in Selma, Alabama, because some folks are willing to march across a bridge. And so they got together, and Barack Obama Jr. was born.
Selma was 1965. You were born in 1961.
This week there was a tragedy in Kansas. 10,000 people died. An entire town destroyed.
12 people died. 12 is less than 10,000.
I'm not familiar with the Hanford site, and so I don't know exactly what's going on there.
At least you're right about this one.
I mean, think about it. Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, these countries are tiny compared to the Soviet Union. They don't pose a serious threat to us.
Is this why you said...
So I've made it clear for years that the threat from Iran is grave.
Thank you, Sioux City!
Not Sioux City. You're actually in Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls. I've been in Iowa too long. I'm sorry. Just words, just speeches.